Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, I am Nicole. Scorpio, this is going to be for your sun, your moon, your rising. Cross watcher, if that's you, welcome to the channel. There's a couple of things I want to touch base with real fast, and then we're going to jump into your reading. Scorpio, every time I sit down to do the September reads, Spirit takes me back to you. And, you know, it's like the feeling, the inspiration, whatever you want to call it, that I'm getting from Spirit in regards to this. It is a feeling, right? But it's also an awareness between me and my guides that there's something here, Scorpio, and I think from now until probably your birthday season, that there's something here that's playing out, okay? And I feel via my guides, right, that I could do a monthly reading for you, and it's going to maybe create a very vague picture of the advice or spiritual guidance that you all need. 1:11 on the clock as I say this. And it will be like a blanket statement versus the information that you need to know. So I don't think at this point that I'm going to roll out a September reading, and Spirit just said until mid-September. Because whatever is transpiring for you all at this time, it's almost like week to week you're having, Spirit just said unanswered questions. So it's like you're going to need some sort of guidance or clarity around this situation that continues to unfold, both on a spiritual level and a 3D level. Thank you, Spirit. So I'm going to do this a little differently. Life is always changing, right? So expect a weekly read for a while for you all to go through whatever this transition is that you're dealing with, okay? Now, real quickly, I'm going to say, there were a few comments about the disruptions in the last couple of videos that I had done via the puppy and the cat. And they said, put them in another room and all this and that. I am not triggered. I take these videos as an opportunity for me to learn and for you all to learn. What I'm going to highlight by those statements is very simply this. You do not know what another person's situation is unless you're living their life. Do not make assumptions. This is my home. This is my pet's home. And this is my kiddo's home. I don't need to go into detail as to why things are the way they are, but they are the way they are. And as I say this, the dog is in the background playing with her ball. This is her home, her space. If that's what she wants to do, that's on her. And if I feel it's too disruptive for me to be able to deliver the message, then I will make the appropriate accommodations. But I open up essentially my space, my home, to all of you. I sit at this table, I do these readings, and this is where I reside. You wouldn't walk into your neighbor's house and tell them how to live. Don't do it here. Plain and simple. All right? So, with that, I mean all due respect to everybody, but I'm sitting here giving my time, which I choose to and I want to, right? This is why I'm here. But this is also my home. And it's their home. So that's that. All right. So, Scorpio, let's get straight into it. Let's see what's going on. Scorps, I feel like you're cutting ties with something. And I'm going to say to you that I feel notice. Spirit is saying use the word notice. This is your notice to these transitions. There's deeper meaning behind each level of this for each of you. All of your situations per Spirit are going to be different, but there's an awareness here of a deeper level of healing that is taking place. Consider this like your energy medicine, right? Just like you would get up and take your Zyrtec in the morning, or, you know, your thyroid meds or your cholesterol meds or whatever you're doing, whatever society has pushed on you. This is your medicine as we dive into this. And it's a necessary Spirit is also, Spirit saying a necessary evil that you're going to have to address something. Cosmic wave, new friendships, preparations, custodians. Scorpio, I've got the freaking chills going down my body from the start here. Temple secrets, secrecy, isolation, observation, ritual magic. Scorps, this cosmic wave to me is like you kind of stepping forward into a new space, reviewing the past, and it's like, I think ultimately what this comes out to be in the long run, the overall synopsis of this is that you are preparing that space on your plate, as I call it, for you know, Thanksgiving dinner. Get rid of the potatoes so you can have pumpkin pie. You're taking charge of a situation by a way of holiness and healing. Understand that whatever it is that you're seeing yourself in the middle of, so whether, and I'm gonna, with this custodians, I'm going to say kids. Maybe this is your inner child. Maybe this is your children. Maybe these are just the things, like you're a custodian of your home, right? Like I'm sitting here giving my speech on, this is my home. I take care of my home. It is the things that are nearest and dearest to you. It is the things that have served their purpose. And now we're getting ready to step into this new paradigm of what the rest of this year, I'm going to say this year, looks like. And it's setting the foundations for the rest of your life. Okay? And it sounds weird, I feel like, to say the rest of your life, because the rest of your life could be 60 years. It could be 80 years. Who the hell knows, right? But there is a level here, Scorpio, and we talked last video, I think it was, that I said, I see you all as, you know, maybe the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, that of the Swords, that of the fire signs, but there's that earth element that Scorpio seems to lack, being that it is your equal opposite. This is the need to ground. This is the need to harness significant power of the self and keeping yourself emotionally balanced and stable through a situation. Whatever this situation is for each of you, this is not going to be a slap a band-aid on it, move on from it, forget that it ever happened kind of thing. This is something, whether these are spirit, mental health issues, depression, emotional healing, family situations that you can't just pull yourself out of, spirit, it'll be a step-by-step process. And this is laying the groundwork for those things, so that you can move on and move through life without feeling like you are isolated, feeling like your guards are up on a constant basis. Okay, so I don't know, they're guiding me to get the animal deck out here, which again has been one of those things that I don't really use too often, but I'm gonna pull this out. Some Kim Crayons. I don't know if you're all familiar with her work. It's beautiful, phenomenal. It's just some sort of beautiful mastery. That's my feet. Thank you. Quit. All right, Scorpio. Spirit for Scorpio. What is this for Scorpio? What do they need to know via the animal spirit deck? The owl. Scorpio, there's some wisdom there. Give me 1 second, guys. This is looking pretty important. Hold on 1 minute. I'm so sorry. What is... Hold on. Okay, Scorpio, I'm so sorry. When the school messages, you pay attention, right? Absolutely. All right, Scorpio, this owl and this peacock. For those of you who may have seen it, I posted some time ago that where I live, and I think I even mentioned in a video, peacocks are, they don't hang out here. That's just all I can say. The peacock is the underlying, that's some beauty, Scorpio. That's fertility, that is growth, that is transformation as well. Spirit saying indicative of the phoenix. You've also got the owl. So you've got two characters here of flight. There's that air energy. That owl is the wisdom, Scorpio. This owl is that observer, right? He sits in that tree, he observes, and you see this temple secrets, and it says observation on it. Scorpio, I feel like right now is part of whatever this is that you're going through at this time. you're sitting back and waiting for something. You really do need to sit back and be the observer. You could be waiting on news. You could be waiting on information. You could be waiting on spirit, the fur to fly. There's, as they say, there's levels to this shit. And Scorpio, you're at a specific level here when it comes to this energy, because you are in Scorpio. They're saying a restoration of innocence too. So when I talk about your inner child, all right, what goes on within your inner child? Have you been so scarred up, bombarded, isolated, walls up, just trying to find a way out of something that almost, it's like it eludes you. It's almost like whatever this is on a deep emotional level that has not, I just don't think that you've kind of toted it around like, you know, we women do our purses, right? It becomes an appendage that you think you need. And, you know, if you've got children, right? Me and my mom stuff, I know, right? You start off with the basics in that new purse every time. And then the next thing you know, you've got Tonka trucks, and you've got baby doll apparatuses, and, you know, you've got everything but the kitchen sink in that purse. And what's it do? It weighs you down. You know, next thing you know, your neck's hurting, your back's hurting, your shoulders hurting, your hips hurting, whatever. It's like your wallet too, to the guys. You know, what are you toting around that's unnecessary? But this is on an emotional level, Scorps. There are things here that you don't need anymore. And whether this is from a space of survival, right? You know, you can, I just heard this the other day, and it makes perfect sense as I'm saying these things. We can thrive in survival, right? We can master that shit. In Scorpio, you have walked through some of the darkest things in life and managed to come out still standing. But what is it to let go of survival mode and then thrive? Where you're not fighting that battle. And I think a lot of the times too, and I've brought it up before, Scorpio, when shit goes wrong and you get pissed, you're like, watch me go. Spirit's drawing my attention to this, and I feel like this is even a lesson for me. When we're in that space, is that need for survival stopping our ability to thrive even when we're thriving in the level of survival? Is it necessary? It's like, can you have one without the other? And Scorpio, I feel like that's part of this, is the spirit, the worry, the stresses, that you can live in a state of thriving without it being tied to something that is survival-like. And there's something here, Scorpio, within you, I feel like in the past, I don't know, maybe few weeks, few months, it feels like a culmination of time, that there's something in regards to children, childhood, the inner child, that is saying to you, this isn't necessary. There's something that's grabbed your attention and made you think twice about all of these things. Okay? So and I want to look up, I don't even have, hold on. I don't have anything to look up. The beaks, I don't know what a beak necessarily means on a spiritual level. So perhaps, you know, Google it. It's always my thing, Google it. If you don't know, Google it. But what is it that's representation of a beak to you on a bird? Because they're standing out to me, spirits, like nose up, nose down. Scorpio, with that, spirit is showing me, like, you know, we think about like looking ahead, like we're observing, we're taking it in, and then nose down is us working through that stuff. So it could very well be that for some of you. But it also makes me think of the way in which we work. For some of you, not all of you, again, this is finding that balance between work life, home life, right? Paying attention, being present in your day, and then, you know, putting your time, energy, and efforts into work as well. There's something significant about that too. But also know, Scorpio, that you're learning something. So whether you're reading, researching, studying, watching the behavioral patterns of somebody else. It's like you're making notes on what is transpiring and it's necessary. Okay, so you're gaining something here. So with this owl, it says abundance, clairvoyant, and treasures. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, I'm pretty sure I butchered that, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. And that's the thing, Spirit said, this is spiritual and 3D, right? With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon, how it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasure is infinite. When in balance, it's generous, trusting, and secure. When it's out of balance, there's money, quarrels, and scarcity to bring it into balance and offering. So I feel like that's a quick explanation of everything I just said via the Animal Spirit deck. And now this peacock. Inner beauty, compassion, assimilator of anything. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage, but the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. When it's in balance, confident and kind. When it's out of balance, can't digest situations. To bring into balance, meditation on the navel. So your solar plexus, or I don't know, your sacral or your solar plexus, maybe both, Scorpio. As I was reading can't digest situations, Spirit said, do you feel like you're choking? And, you know, and I'm going to say to you, with that message from Spirit, when you're looking at your situation of whatever it is, has it been a hard pill to swallow, Scorpio? Has it been something that just eats away at you? That you can't kind of get out of your mind, that it's like, this feels like a very, how do I put this? Very deep awareness within you of how something has not turned out maybe the way that you thought it would or had hoped it would. Some of you, when we talk about healing those, not childhood wound, well, it is a childhood wound, but the, there we go, ancestral curse. I don't know why I was lacking that statement. We do so much healing, maybe on a focus, like, let's just say, as an example, again, alcoholism. We had parents that were alcoholics. We're like, I'm just not going to repeat that pattern. Yes, you are breaking a cycle. But Scorpio, what about on an emotional level? If you experience that and you're trying to not do those things for your kids or future generations, what did that do to you on a deeper level that it made you feel that way to begin with? What was it about that situation that triggered, I don't want to be like that? Because I feel like whether this is that inner child that you need to address or your children, there's a reason you feel the way you feel. And now it's to understand it, not just go, I'm adamant in my convictions of this is the way that it is. But understanding the why of that so that you can move on and stop carrying that baggage around like it's a prize. Okay? So I hope the way I'm explaining this to you is making sense. Spirit said this is all to lighten your load, Scorpio. It's all to lighten your load. What do we want to go with here? All right, Spirit, let's see. What else for Scorpio? But there is a need to ground. Here we go. Letting go. I knew it. I thought I've seen it, and that's what it was. Letting go. This is 22. It's a 4. Fragment. This is a fragment, Scorps, of the past. This is healing an emotional breakdown. When I talk about being that observer, Scorps, it feels like to me Again, like, you may be sitting there with no control over a particular situation. Leading by example, 11:11 on the clock. You leading by example of who follows you, where you're going. You know, it's, people look at you, Scorpio, and I said it recently, like, you don't realize the impact that you have on others. So, you know, if you could, like, kind of take it as taking your inner child outside of yourself and sitting with your inner child and realizing the hurt, the disappointments, the conditioning, whatever you can think of, and looking at that child and going, holy shit, what do I need to do to help you heal? Address yourself. And Scorpio, again, for those of you who have children or people that are younger than you, that are close to you, by you being so bold, by you being so brave to address that, it's going to change the way that you do life. It's going to change the severity of situations so that your higher needs are met. And when your higher needs are met, and it starts on the inside, right? Other people see what happens on the outside as a result of that healing. So if you are an imperative part of another person's world, which we always will be in some way, you show, you lead by your own faith to show others this change. Okay, I hope this is making sense, and I apologize for the pauses, but Spirit's coming in, and it's like they're trying to break down, because I feel like this is one of the most important messages you're ever going to hear as part of your healing journey. Spirit, you didn't heal it yesterday, but we're going to heal it today. And you're going to heal it moving forward. This is an ongoing evolution, Scorpio, of this healing. Like, every time we think we have uncovered a layer and we're good to go, Spirit's like, by the way, here's this too, you know. But Scorpio, this is for, Spirit saying, for the masses, right? This is not just a Scorpio thing, it's an everybody thing. But Scorpio, there's an emphasis on you in this. And I can't help, when we talk about the 144,000 of the spiritual evolution, there's a large part of that, Scorpio, that's you. You and you alone. Yes, throw in the mix of other people that we alchemize and work with, but a large part of this, a large part of that 144, you guys are a part of that. You're leading the way. There are people who are like what I call worker bees, and I don't mean anything degrading or whatever about that, but it's like there's people who play a supportive role, Scorpio, and then there are people who are leaders. You are a leader in this change on the emotional level, because nobody else in Spirit, nobody else understands that emotional depth the way a Scorpio does. There's a lot here between this owl, the peacock, and this temple secrets, and even with this cosmic wave of preparation that speaks to secrecy, isolation, quiet times, Spirit in the still of the night. This secrecy, Scorpio, is something that I think there's a multitude of matters, the way Spirit's bringing this in to address with that secrecy. Part of this is you feeling like you could not share yourself or your own deep wounds with other people. There's a part of this that says, has Scorpio shared their deepest fears and hurt with their self? This here is that awareness. This is this awakening. This is this realization. This is a sense of denial or suppression of what does Scorpio need to tell Scorpio? okay? The secrecy and isolation too, Scorps, on the flip side of that, outside of you, are the people around you throughout your years that have made you feel like you've had to suppress that. That you could not be open and bold to the world. This spirit just keeps going, this deep-seated fear, Scorpio, I don't want to say some of it, all of this emotional resilience, thank you, Spirit, that's coming through this is just the beginning. And Scorpio, like, I do feel this in my gut. I feel like, and I, you know, if any of you are familiar with Reiki or are practitioners, like myself, sometimes you get that client or even yourself and you just start pulling and pulling and pulling. There's so much shit deeply buried in those centers that it's like, God, does this ever end? Are we done yet? Scorpio, it's starting to come out. 1717 on the clock, wish fulfillment, star energy. You're going to come into this complete space of forgiveness of the past, of the people who made you feel like you had to suppress, that you weren't good enough, that you couldn't deal with X, Y, and Z, or you couldn't speak, right? That lump in the throat. Not only is it a hard pill to swallow in a particular situation, but it's also, you know, it's like Spirit's saying walking around on eggshells. If I say that, what are they going to think? If I do that, what are they going to say? If I, you know, take care of this in this manner, in through the lens of my eyes, how am I going to be judged for that? Spirit said, as you take personal control, not overall control, Scorpio, because we know we like control. When you take personal control of the circumstances that are in your specific life, within you, that you can handle, all good things come from that. You will be pleasantly surprised on where the focus gets shifted. And I don't know what that statement from Spirit means, but you will be surprised where the focus gets shifted. There's something very specific to, again, observation, the focus or the focal point of what is transpiring here, Scorpio. It's a pretty big deal. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. The Archetypes deck, I have it. I don't have a book for it. Never have read it. As I tell you all, throw the damn book away. Again, I read intuitively. And we're going to go with that and see, what comes out with that. And I think it's quite interesting that I'm being guided to a lot of the Kim Cran stuff. The Destroyer, Scorpio. And the Animal. There could be something specific to blue eyes or green eyes as well. So pay attention to that. That the Spirit's also bringing up the fact that, the majority of the human race has brown eyes, right? Darker eyes. There's something about the light eyes. Scorps, this is interesting to me. Specific to the eyeballs. You could, this destroyer energy, Scorpio, and there's the storm. There we go. Here we go. The mountain. Somebody around you, and I'm going to say somebody's letting their guard down, Scorpio. Twofold situation here. One, this could be you. Through this healing that you're doing, I will absolutely say that it's you. You are letting down a guard with somebody or something. This person specifically could have blue eyes. Now, not everybody that you're dealing with is going to have blue eyes, but there's something about the shade of blue. And as I say that, the Peacock's got blue, the Cosmic Waves got blue, the Temple Secret's got blue. This letting go, covered in blue. There's something very specific to this blue. It's like you're coming out of this black and white energy and some kind of life force is being revitalized for you. But in a very quiet way. You think about it, when we're looking forward to things or feeling excited about things, there's a spark, right? It gets lighter, it gets brighter, it feels better. But Scorpio, with this blue is also a sadness. It's like a bittersweet, that life can feel good without pain. Not every situation is going to require you to go through hell to feel better. It may not feel good, but it's transformative. Spirits tell me 7 times, there's seven butterflies. Scorpio, 7-year cycles could be very important. This could be a 7-year cycle. But for some of you, you've been 7 different people in this lifetime. Maybe every 5 years it has changed. And that 5 is indicative of change. There's somewhere wheat in itself could be a signifier to you at this time, a sign, a symbol. There's something about the emotion, Scorpio, where you're going, where you're letting your guard down, you're finding comfort or solace in something or someone, where you can be vulnerable, where you can feel safe, and they will look you in the eye. There's something significant to the eye. You think about it, to be able to look somebody in the eye is one of the greatest forms of intimacy that doesn't require a romantic partnership. It is the greatest form. When we look someone in the eye, we know that we can trust them. We know that we are seen, that we are being heard, we are being listened to. So Scorpio, this could be this relationship, this soulmate, who you are genuinely connecting with. And the left eye is the eye to the soul. This is very deep, very eye-opening, Scorpio, as you move through this. Now, separate to that, this storm and the destroyer, there is somebody, and Scorpio, I think we see this damn near every read for you. They have created a shit storm in their world, trying to keep you in that very storm, in that chaos. You have had to climb mountains time and time again. Now, I'm going to tell you, Spirit is saying that for some of you, this is like a proverbial devil. So this could be your own addictions, your own toxicity. For others of you, this is dealing with somebody else for so many years that it's become ingrained in everything that you are. You wake up, you think about it. Like, is there a day when you think about your particular situation, has there been a single day that you haven't thought about this situation or person? Because if it's on a repeat track, Scorps, there's a need to get out of the psyche, out of the subconscious. The subconscious has been ingrained with this craziness that you've had to deal with. For some of you, let's just throw a hypothetical, and God, I hope this is not your situation. Your child could be dealing with somebody that is that devil, and there's their naivety, if I'm saying that correctly, them being naive or just unexperienced, unseasoned, makes them vulnerable to the attacks of another person. So you could be dealing with a co-parent, a school situation, childhood bullies, whatever, but it also reminds me of a drug addict. I feel like this is something, unfortunately, that we can all resonate with in some degree. It is the opportunistic people around a drug addict. Someone who is obviously, their body has been, we all got different opinions, so I'm not going to get into that. But the addiction itself changes the behavior of that person. They become vulnerable in their time of what they think is a need, right? Based upon the addiction. And you have dealers and such that are opportunistic. Oh yeah, you know, I could use the example of Matt Perry passing, right? If you read the articles on that, they're opportunistic. They seen somebody in a bad way and they took advantage and, oh, how much money can we make? They are the devil in itself. And so Scorpio, whoever you're dealing with, it's like they feed what's important to you by way of opportunistically being the opportunist to take advantage of low points, whether it's you or somebody that you love or you're close to or even your children. They're angry, they're furious, it's greed. But I'm also going to say to you, if you have someone in your life who is old enough to know the difference, I'm talking an adult, at least 20, and they make these choices, you also have to understand this is part of their life's journey. This is part of their life path. You don't have the control to tell them how to do it differently. You can advise, but you can't change it. It's outside of your control. All you can do is heal and lead by that example. For those of you dealing with somebody younger, or again, your inner child, Scorpio, how does it fall under attack, and where do you hold control in your personal world to make those changes? This is a very deep and you know, I've used the word profound, and I don't know that profound. This is exacerbating everything that we need to be aware of. There's a massive emphasis, and to say profound, your hair flying, doesn't do it justice, Spirit says. This runs very deep, very, very deep. Spirit, you can't change somebody else's toxic ways. All right, give me a card here, Spirit. I said you could be researching, right? Scorpio, also understand, you know, again, this is two stories, I'm going to call it, that Spirit is giving me. Two situations here. So pick from the two what resonates with you, if it resonates at all. Library. This person that you're dealing with, and I will say that it feels third party to me. Like I said, there's something it's either your inner child or someone younger than you that you are in connection with, that you are seeing the damage that's been done. There's an awareness to this damage that's been done. This book collection, reading nooks, research, resources, maybe you've been to a library, maybe you're doing research on how you can help this person, how you can help yourself, because I do feel like they're tied. So again, your inner child, what, you know, maybe you're picking up a book from a bookstore on how to heal trauma, or you know, or understanding differences in personalities, or what creates people to be the way they are. It's like you're trying to get a better reasoning about it. Like you're taking a much more practical approach and not taking things maybe on a personal level, Scorpio, where you've taken it personally before. You could just be even reaching out to, you know, maybe therapists, clergy, readers, right? Seeking that advice and guidance. And you could call this spiritual warfare. They have their intention on a deep sadistic level, and you've got your intention of removing yourself from a situation or those that you love. The flip to this, Scorpio, if you are dealing with somebody outside of yourself on that third party level, they're doing the same. They're looking at things and going, how can I take this information that I have, or this awareness, or whatever, it's not even awareness, it's just illusion that I have, and what way can I twist it? What way can I take what I know and play on the scarred parts of Scorpio? They're disgusting. I'm just going to shoot straight. They are a level of evil that when you it's like battleships, like you seek to destroy, And that's what I'm hearing, Scorpio, is they seek to destroy. That's why they've been put here. Disgusting, concerning, alarming, but true. Scorpio, your approach to taking the bull by the horns, your approach to understanding is going to be your saving grace. Because you're not coming at this from a space of anger and aggression. You're truly looking, excuse me, I got hiccups. You're truly looking to understand it for what it is versus the picture that's been painted. There's a deep psychological feel to this, okay? What is this animal about, Spirit? The destroyer and the hunted, Scorpio. Animal, this person has plagued you for prey. There it is. They look to come at you, come after you, and there's that 17 also. That makes 3 8, Scorpio. It kind of reminds me of a movie. Again, like it's like a scene from a movie. Where they take that kill shot. And when they blow their lowest blow and you don't react, it's like you realize how wounded you are as a result of a situation and you disengage. You're not running from their whatever they're throwing at you, arrows, bows, I don't know, whatever. You're not running from it. You're walking away. It's got a completely different feel, Scorps. Where they've aimed, they've shot, they've fired, they've put you constantly in their sights. Again, this scene, right? But Scorpio, the difference. 6-6. The butterfly change, freedom. You may have given somebody oodles of chances. Well over, like, Spirit overstayed their, their limits or whatever. And you've got 666 here, Scorpio. Dealing, and I say I don't see that 666 as the devil, but in this case, it's a compounded devil energy. Because you have sought justice in a situation. Justice, balance, whatever. The fragment is you seeking to go above and beyond this situation and the courage to maintain your stride forward. Spirit, you're going to know, Scorpio, what you need to do, because you will never be so sure of a direction in which you're supposed to go, per Spirit, ever again. You've never been so profoundly going, I know this is what I need to do. Whether this is to make a very bold and brazen move that you have contemplated before with that owl. You've contemplated, and I keep seeing the Page of Swords. You've contemplated this idea before. And it seems like a very serious step, whether it's therapy, counseling, a divorce. I mean, it's that level a move, a job change. It's that level of importance. It's one of those big life-changing moments, Scorpio, and you're looking to let go and move on. Someone is in the distance, or something is in the distance, and this could just be ghost of the past, Scorps. They've had their claws sunk in you for a really long time, and that's done that internal damage, right? It's done. It's scarred. It's been built up for so long, and now needing to come out of this and waking up to how deep this runs within you. Because it's something, it's where your heart lives. It's where your soul lives. It's where you feel everything. And when we get cold and unadjusted or adjusted by way of having to unadjust ourselves from a feeling, if that makes sense, but that's the way it's coming in. We just do things on autopilot, right? Like we go about our day, we do what we got to do. We don't stop to think about how close to the heart it hits home. And this here, Scorpio, is hitting the heart right at the home space. The home within you, your inner child, your soul, or your home physically. But I think that this is deeply connected to both. And I also think that this third situation, this third party, is the one thing that's been ousted. You may have ousted somebody from this at some point. Hence their need of vengeance. How dare you reject me? So somebody else has abandonment and rejection issues, and they've put this off on you, and you yourself having abandonment issues have gone, oh, I know how that feels. You're giving them compassion that you haven't given yourself. You've given somebody else too much leeway in your life. All right, I need to let the cat in. Let me pause this for just a second. Hold tight, Scorps. Okay, Scorpio. You know, I would say to you too, on that note, talking about giving this other person, this other situation leeway. So maybe it's, childhood wounds, maybe it stems back to your parents, and you've allowed that narrative or whatever to be a part of your everyday existence for the rest of your life. That's what you identify as. The Spirit said to me, think about that, what some people would label as a bratty kid. Let's say, as a child, you worked to make an allowance every week of $5, and you spent 3 months saving up for this one thing, this one toy, this one truck, this one baby doll, this one whatever. And, your cousins come over, and your cousin is that kid that always takes your shit. And you let it go, and you let it go, and you let it go. And then finally, it's like something within you goes, darn it, it's mine. Like, I worked hard, whether it was taking out the garbage, sweeping, doing the dishes, whatever, to earn that money to get something that was for me, for someone else to use. I don't get to enjoy it. Scorpio, that's how this feels in regards to your life. Somebody has constantly taken something and abused it. And now you're stepping into this power going, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy what I worked for, despite, you don't get to take from me what is mine. You get to stand up for yourself. Maybe you're standing up for your children. Maybe you're standing up for a colleague at work. Maybe you're standing up for your position. Maybe you're standing up for your children. Whatever it is. But give yourself the permission to be that bratty kid that says, I worked for it and it's mine. And if they don't like it, oh well, too bad. Let them go out and save an allowance or get an allowance and get their own shit. Whether this is material, familial, your work, your ideas, your projects, whatever they've tried to rob you of. Enough is enough. And that's really they're looking at you. And, and even if this is a parent, you could be 60 years old and your 80-year-old mother is still going, I expect you to come over here on Sunday and make dinner and clean this house. Why is it my responsibility? You're an adult. Or someone who's codependently leaning on you. Hey, stop. Or someone who's codependently leaning on you to take care of their shit or to bear the burden because they don't want to do it. They don't want to have to take responsibility. So it's either stuck within the inner child, Scorpio, or you're dealing with something that you need in that regard, when it comes to your external circumstances with your, what's important to you, what lives within your heart. And now's the time to stand up for what's right. Justice, Virgo energy, you're going to see this transpire. 41:41 on the clock. You're going to see this transpire, Scorpio, over the next 4 weeks. And takes me back to the very beginning of this reading where I said to you, every time I sat down to want to do a September read, Spirit's like, not for Scorpio. Not for Scorpio. You need to address Scorpio, but not like that. I was running into a brick wall with Spirit on that one. And for good reason. Scorpio, I didn't even use a single tarot card. I don't think it's necessary today. Advice for Scorpio, and I'm going to close this reading out. I think that the enlightenment of what you need to know is in this video. And we will readdress at a later time, Spirit is saying. All right, advice for Scorpio, Spirit. Look, victory, success, Scorps, angel of love, talking about that heart space. There it is, communities, those three. But this is celebratory. Scorpio, as you come into this deeper understanding, you're going to find that there are connections around you that see it through the lens of your eyes. They understand. So again, whether this is therapists, support groups, like-minded individuals, people who, schools and institutions too, by the way, people who see the big picture, because they've had that bird's eye view too of watching this all happen, whatever this has been over the years. So maybe you talk to old Aunt Betty, and Aunt Betty goes, I've sat back for 30 years, Linda, and I've never said a word because it wasn't my place to speak on your situation, but I don't blame you. If that's how you feel, I don't blame you, and I support you. And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, you got this support from somebody who you never would have thought of them as an ally. You never would have seen them as somebody who would have your back because they just never said anything. You could have seen them as mysterious, quiet, not even unsupportive, but it was like it didn't matter to them. And it's like, how do you sit back? You could have judged it from your own perspective of sitting there going, how do you not care about this? How do you not see this? And just never said anything because you weren't on that kind of level with that person at that time. But now you do. Something in you, Scorpio, has urged you to go have this conversation or seek some type of emotional understanding with this person. And say, because maybe that's your mother's sister. Who knows? And they were always really close, but you never realized that, Aunt Betty had a real fucking bone with your mom too. And now and I'm going to tell you, don't trauma bond. That's going to be another important thing. Don't trauma bond, but I don't think that that's what this is. Because it's like this person has already accepted the situation with whatever this has been for a very long time. Again, you getting to the point that you can be vulnerable with somebody about this situation and them genuinely understanding where you're coming from. And for some of you, they may even look at you and go, I wondered when you were going to come around to this. I wondered when you were going to draw that conclusion, Scorpio. You're going to find allies that speak to your heart, that are honest, that are pure, who have your back. This, and I'm going to go back to the very first card. Spirit pointed this out to me. The first statement on that cosmic wave are new friendships. It's new friendships, Scorpio. And by way of this opening realization of you, These new friendships, these new allies are being born. Spirit, there's also something very significant to that level of born. This could be the arrival of new life. Or, Scorpio, this arrival of new life is simply your new world that you're moving into. Its existence is very important, because here is where victory and success lies, the balance of it all, and your heart space opening. It's everything that you have asked for and manifested lays on the other side of this situation. And you're getting there. But this is not a overnight fix. You can't slap a band-aid on this bitch anymore. There is levels to this shit. And it's like Sierra. Was it 1 step, 2 step, right? Something like that. 1 step forward, Scorpio, at a time. You're done taking 2 steps back. Very, very significant. Scorpio, the next month is going to change your life. Should you accept, Spirit said. Thank you, Spirit. I'm going to share this with you. All right, so I see, I don't often see, third eye, right? My guides, but I have one specifically. I honestly feel like I have a grandmother on my mom's side who passed away at a very young age. Too young. And she's sitting there swinging her feet going, well, I think we've done the thing today. Like, she's beautiful. Thank you for that. Like, she's just kind of hanging out, swinging her feet. Like, if you're sitting on a swing, swinging your feet. Super cool. Super cool. That makes me feel good. All right, Scorpio. I'm leaving it right there. You know that this message is for you if you're watching. Personal reads are open and available. Information for that is, excuse me, down in the description box below the About section of the page. I always look forward to hearing from all of you. Your comments, I appreciate all that you share with myself and the community itself here on my channel. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.